gals, my name is Joyce Raimondo. I'm an artist and an author, and today we're going to do one of my favorite projects. It's called Magic of Unicorns. Do you know what a unicorn is? Long, long ago, when there were kings and queens and princesses and they lived in castles, people believed that there was a magical animal. It was called a unicorn. Unicorns looked a little like horses, but what's special about them is they had a horn that came from their head and they could do all sorts of magical things. We're going to have a little show and then you're going to get to do the art project. Let's take a look at what people thought unicorns looked like in the old days. Can you figure out what's happening in these pictures? Where do you think this unicorn is? Did you say a garden? That's right, you can see all the beautiful flowers. Notice the fence around the unicorn. Why do you think that's in the picture? Maybe people didn't want the unicorn to get away. Look at this picture. Notice all the people surrounding the unicorn. Take a close look. Notice the water. What do you think the unicorn is doing with the water? Long ago, people believed that unicorns had special powers to purify water. The unicorn could make sure there's no poison in the water, so everyone would be safe and the water is clean. What other animals do you see in this picture? Can you find a deer or a bird or even a dog? This is one of my favorite pictures. Look at the beautiful maiden. That's what they used to call young women in the old days. Notice the unicorn and the other animals that surround her. Next to her is the servant. What is the servant giving her? Can you make up a story about what's in the box? Look at the unicorn in this picture. What is he doing? Did you say that the unicorn is looking in the mirror? That's right. This picture represents the gift of sight. Take a close look. Can you find a bird? Can you find a monkey? What other animals do you see? What do you think the man in the middle of the picture is doing? His name is Orpheus, and he has special powers to play his lute and charm the animals, and all the animals become tame and listen to him. Can you find a unicorn in this picture? There it is. Boys and girls, now it's time to make art. And we're going to do a unicorn collage. As a collage is when you cut and paste things to make your picture. So this is what you'll need. First, of course, you'll need paper for your project, scissors, glue, and lots of other papers like scraps that you can cut and paste to make your unicorn picture. I'm going to wait for you. Get your supplies. You can shut the video off, and then when you are ready to make art, come back, turn the video on, and I'll be here waiting for you to make art. Good. Okay. Boys and girls, do you have all your supplies ready now? So the first thing we're going to do before we get to the unicorn is we're going to make the place. So I am going to make a make-believe place. Anything can happen in this magical place. So instead of making the ground and the grass green or the dirt brown or even a black street, I'm going to make a land that has pink grass. So I'm cutting out my strip, and then if I want to make it pop up, watch this. I can cut little slits into it. See, and don't cut all the way. And then when you bend the slits, it's going to look a little bit like grass. And take your time doing this, okay, because there's lots of slits to cut if you want to make grass. Maybe you don't want to make grass. You can make a different type of ground. I want you to do this project your own way, boys and girls. This is just to give you some ideas. And you make the place however you want it to be. So now I'm going to bend it a little bit so it pops up. See? I always like to put my glue on the item that I'm gluing. Don't put the glue on your large paper. This way, you will know exactly where the glue needs to go. So rub that glue on, and then I'm going to put this along the edge of my paper and press along and rub so it sticks. Rub, 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 and here is my pink grass. Now, the next thing I'm going to do before I even get to the unicorn is I am going to make a magical place. Now, what do you think could be in my magical place from long, long ago? I know. I am going to build a castle, and we're actually going to build it out of shapes. Now, the first shape is going to be a rectangle, and you can use any colors that you like. So I have a tray here of all different scrap papers, and I am going to make a beautiful, colorful castle. The first shape I'm going to make is a rectangle. A rectangle is a shape that has 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. But you probably already knew that. Now, put your glue on the item you're gluing, and then we're going to slip that right in there, and that's my castle. But that doesn't look like a castle yet, does it? So now I am going to add other shapes to the castle so it starts to look real. So over here on each side, I'm going to make 2 towers, and those are going to be orange. So watch. I'm going to make a long shape that goes way up high, and then I'm going to make another one. See? And those are going to be my towers. And then piece by piece, I am going to add them to my picture. Put the glue on the thing that you're gluing, and turn it over. Rub. Oh, well, that tower is a little too long. Let me cut that. That's better. And I'll cut this one too. What kind of castle are you going to make? And now I'm going to put the 2 towers along the edges. But you're probably saying, that doesn't even look like a castle, because now we're going to put the roof. Do you know what shape is the roof on a castle? Did you say triangle? That's right. Now for my towers, I'm going to need 2 triangles. So to save time, I am going to fold this paper in half. See? So it's double. And then I am going to cut out a triangle. Here's 1, 2, 3 sides. You see? 1, 2, 3. And there you go. I have 2 triangles because my paper was double. And now I'm going to add those up here. Do you see how it's going to start to look like a castle? There's 1. And here's another one. And then I am going to make a nice big rooftop for this shape too. This is fun. This is a make it up as you go along project. Let's see if this triangle fits. This one's a lot bigger, right? 1, 2, 3 sides. And I'm going to put that right there. And that looks really good. But of course, how do you get into the castle? It needs a door. Would you like me to show you how you can make a door that actually opens and closes? Now, long ago, when they had castles, the doors were a special shape. They had what's called an arch. An arch is a curve, so watch. Make a rectangle, But then what you want to do is on the top, round off the edges. And boys and girls, that is called an arch. It's a curve. Now, to get the doors to open and close, I am going to cut right in the middle, and I have 2 halves. See? And now I'm going to fold a little tab right here, right along the edge. And I'm going to do the same on this one. I'm going to fold it right along the edge and do it on the side that's the smallest side. And then I'm going to match them up together, and I'm going to put a little glue right here on the tab. Don't put glue on the whole door. And I'm going to rub it. And then I'm going to put glue on the other side and match them up together. Okay, but don't glue the whole thing down. And now you can actually open and close the door to the castle. Isn't that nice? Now I'm going to add some details. What's missing in my castle? I will make some tiny, tiny windows, because long ago, sometimes in the castles, it was really cold, so they didn't want all the cold air to come in, so they made the windows really, really tiny. I'm making tiny little rectangles. And now I'm going to add some details with my marker to the castle. I'm going to add a cross to the windows. And I'm going to put some flags. And here I am going to put a shape that goes up and down like that. Because long ago, sometimes castles had a wall, so it would protect people. So I'm going to build a wall on top of the roof. And here's the door handles. I like my castle. I think it looks really good. And now it's time to make the unicorn. So, boys and girls, instead of drawing, I am going to cut shapes to create the unicorn. So I have many different papers here, and I'm going to make my unicorn a make-believe color. What color will you make your unicorn? I think I will look through my papers. What do I have in here? I'm going to make my unicorn purple. So we're going to do this piece by piece. The first thing I want you to do is make the unicorn's body. So I'm going to cut first a rectangle, and then I'm just going to round off the corners by cutting them off, and I have the shape of the body. And then I'm going to decide where is my unicorn going to go. So put the glue on the body, and here is my unicorn's body. What does the unicorn need? Of course it needs legs. So I am going to cut the legs with strips. And here I have 2 strips, but those are way too long. So I'm going to cut them in half. And now I have 4 legs for my unicorn. So here's 1. And 2. So I'm going to put that underneath. Here's 2 legs. And I'm going to make this one a little fancy. I'm actually going to make this leg bent as if the unicorn is walking. So watch what I mean. I have 2 pieces of paper, and I'm going to put one that way and one going this way, And now it looks like the leg is bent, like he's walking. And I'm going to do the same for the leg that's in the back. Now, what is the unicorn missing? What does he need? Do you know? Well, of course, he needs a head and a neck. So we're going to piece it together, shape by shape. Take a paper and cut a rectangle for the neck and add it on where you think it belongs. See? And now, of course, I'm going to add the head. The head is sort of like a long shape. Okay, see, like that? And then you can cut off the ends a little bit to make the nose round. And let's see, where am I going to attach that? Well, of course, I'm going to attach it to the neck. Ah, he's coming along nicely. He's starting to look like a horse. But what does he need? Of course, he wouldn't be a unicorn if he didn't have his magical horn. I happen to have some really beautiful shiny papers here. You might have some shiny papers at home too, and you can use that for the horn. If you don't have shiny papers, you can use anything that you like. And I am going to make the horn blue, and I'm going to make a long triangle. And there's the horn. And I can put it right over the castle and overlap, because it'll just look like he's standing in front of the castle. Do you see? Isn't he cute? Now, I'll tell you what, my unicorn is missing something. What is he missing? A tail, of course. And let's see, what do I have for my tail? Oh, I have some tissue paper. That can come in handy. I'm actually going to make a fluffy tail, so watch how I do it. If you don't have tissue paper, you can do this using any kind of paper that you have at home. You can use computer paper, you can use loose leaf paper, you can use any kind of scrap paper, and I'm going to cut strips into the tissue paper, and then I'm going to sort of fluff it up a little bit, and now I have a nice fluffy tail, sort of like a horse. And I'm going to only put the glue on the end so that this part can fluff up a little bit. What did you make your tail out of? And now, of course, I'm going to give the unicorn a mane. Do you know what a mane is? A mane is the hair that goes along the unicorn's neck. And I'm going to use some tissue paper for that too. What color will you make your unicorn's mane? And now I'm going to cut little tiny strips, same way that I made the grass, but tiny. Take your time. And then I'm going to fold it up a little bit and fluff it up so it pops out. And that is going to be the mane. And I'm going to put glue right along the edge. And let's see if that fits. Yes, it does. It fits really nicely. And this part I'm going to cut off. And I'm actually going to put that part on top of the head for the hair. Oops. Do you like the unicorn so far? How's yours coming out? Now, of course, what is my unicorn missing? Ears and an eye and a mouth. So I'm going to cut out, what color should the ear be? Well, I think I'll make the ear purple too. I'm going to cut out a little ear and put that right here. And now, of course, he needs a face. So here's the eye, and here's a mouth. And then for extra fun, I'm going to give my unicorn a necklace. I have these beautiful scrap papers here. So you can decorate the unicorn. After all, this is make-believe. So I'm going to put the necklace right there. A little long. And then I'm going to give the unicorn some hooves. I wonder what your unicorn looks like. Don't make it exactly like mine. You make it your own way. Make it the way it makes you happy. So there's some hooves. But I would like to show some magic in my picture, and I would like to make up a story. So I want to show that my unicorn has magic powers. What magic powers would your unicorn have? I am going to make a dragon in the sky. And I'm going to do the same way. I'm going to make a swirly body, and I'm just making my dragon up. You don't have to make a dragon. You can make another character like a princess, or a monster, or a king, or a bird. But sometimes it's fun to have more than one character in the picture. So here's my dragon's body. And now I'm going to make a head, and I'm going to make this look like a mean dragon. So piece by piece, I'm going to put it together the same way that I put together the unicorn, adding one piece at a time. And I'm going to give my dragon some wings. And I'm going to give it an eye and some teeth. And some legs. And some claws. Uh-oh, the dragon is fighting with the unicorn because the dragon wants to attack the castle. But the dragon didn't realize that this unicorn has special magical powers. So what can I do to show my unicorn has special powers? I know. I am going to put some sparkles coming out of the unicorn's horn. For this, I'm going to use more of a liquid glue, like a school glue, and I'm going to dip my glue brush in there, and I'm going to put some glue here and there to show that there's magic powers that the unicorn has. Then I'm going to take my glitter, and very carefully, I'm going to drop it into the glue. This is fun, boys and girls. Are you having fun when you're making your project? If you don't have glitter, you can show that your unicorn has magic powers in another way. Maybe you can draw a rainbow, or maybe you can make something else coming out of the unicorn's horn. Now, of course, I am going to pick up my paper and swoop, gently, very gently shake it back in there so the extra sparkles go back into. And guess what? I also have some other kind of glitter here. That's like glittery paper. I'm going to lay down my glue and sprinkle my glitter right where the glue is, very, very gently, because I don't want to make too much of a mess, right? Very good. And then I'm going to very gently pick up my paper and scoot the excess glitter into the cup. This part over here on my paper is a little blank, so for that part, I am going to make a rainbow. So here's my cloud. And when you make a rainbow, you put all the colors in the rainbow. And let's start with yellow. And after yellow comes orange. Do you know what color comes after orange in a rainbow? Did you say red? And after red comes purple. And after purple comes blue. And after blue comes green. Wow, I like my picture. Do you like your picture? It's fun when I make art. I never know what it's going to come out like. And then I always like to tell a story about the picture. Why don't you make up a story about yours too? So here's my story. Long, long ago, there lived a beautiful princess. She lived inside the castle with the king and queen. You can't see her in the picture because she's in the castle. She had a pet unicorn. Her unicorn had special powers. One day a mean dragon came along. It was flying over the castle and it wanted to break inside the castle. But the magic unicorn came along and sprayed the dragon with pixie dust. The dust was filled with love. And when the dust landed on the dragon, he wasn't even mean anymore. He actually wanted to be friends with the princess. Then the sun came out and a beautiful rainbow appeared in the sky. And everyone lived happily ever after. Boys and girls, what will you show in your picture? Make up a story. You can even write a story too. Hope you had fun. I did. Bye, boys and girls.